That's a mega bomb. Beep.
Down at SGGT at... can't get my teeth in.
It's quite difficult.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
Just a T-peg. That was a lovely shot. Very nice.
Maybe I should try and kill myself with golf more often.
It's beneficial for your golf.
This is going to be a short intro because I've messed the previous 4 up. I'm at SGGT at South Chesterfield Golf Club with Laurence Pawley, who's the lead fitter here. Laurence, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Nice to see you again, Paul.
Nice to see you. I finally got through that intro, didn't I? God, I made hard work of that.
It wasn't the easiest, was it?
It was
a mouthful.
It was a tongue twister. It's really good to see you, mate. So, tell me about this place.
Yeah, so this is SGGT England, and we are in our 3rd month of being open. We opened on the 11th of December. So it's Scott Gourley Golf Technology. Scott has been fitting golf clubs for the last 25 years. A very unique sort of iron system that we use in all of the facilities that we have. But ultimately, it's the only real way you can test product, in my opinion. You look at every shaft in here can go into every head, whether that be a 3-wood shaft and a driver. All the driver shafts go into all the heads. You still get to utilise the sort of tip sections from each manufacturer. So it's the only way to fairly test products, in my opinion. So, you know, that's why we're here.
And I've never really thought about that. I mean, I've had lots of club fittings, whether it's been with Ping or Titleist, whoever, but obviously it's a Titleist head and they're trying to put different shafts into it, whereas here I've got every head to go at and every shaft.
Yeah, you know, we've done fittings before. There always has to be a point at which the fitter has to compromise to make something work in what they are limited to head-wise or shaft-wise. Because you can't have every shaft for every manufacturer. It just doesn't work. It's just not viable for most companies. So for us, there is no compromise. If you don't find anything in here, you're not going to find anything.
Exactly. So, well, I'm looking. I could be in the market for a new driver, maybe a new fairway. Mine have been okay, but there's some great products coming out. The new Cobra products, you know, the Taylormade, the new Ping 10Ks look really interesting. So I'm in your hands.
Perfect. Right, let's get going.
Let's give it a go.
So what we'll do, obviously you've got it in draw setting, standard setting for the 9 degree, 430 LS with their Tour Chrome. So that shaft is obviously a proprietary product for Ping. What we'll do, we'll take that off. Have you had the grip fitted before or after you fitted?
It came with one that's been refitted since.
Came with the exact same grip. Cool, right, so just going to take your Arcos off, sorry. So we'll always start with measuring the swing weight, just the balance of the club, what that gives you sort of feel-wise. It'll help us sort of understand and explain why you might miss shots in certain directions, why things feel so in different ways. So for us, it's D3.7, so good, pretty balanced driver for most people. Yeah, quite like that. Standard length, is it?
Half inch off.
Half inch off.
Yeah.
We're going straight up there. That white 200 marker in the back left corner is pretty much straight out the bay. We're using Pro V1s. Got TrackMan running. Let's go.
Okay.
Strike wise, just a little bit heely. Started left, drifted sort of 15 yards left. Height wise, we didn't quite see a lot of height on there. Yeah, it's okay. Not a bad start. You know, from where you're striking it, that's probably a spin that we'd expect to see. Where as soon as you start striking the ball lower than the face towards that heel, we're going to see higher spin and the ball wanting to go left to right. So it's appropriate for what you're doing, right? And that's a good thing that we'll talk about is, yes, we may see a shot and I'll go, that's great for me. But because you hit cuts, 3,000 spin may be appropriate for where we are, okay? Trying to find these sort of golden numbers that you see on Google and stuff like that, it's almost impossible because it's only relative to to a sort of robotic perfect shot, perfect strike number.
To yourself.
It has to be individual.
Yeah.
So what we'll look at here is obviously we're looking at, okay, dynamic lie, the dynamic loft that you're applying to it, whether you're hitting up or down on the ball, where are you striking that ball? So again, you're 15 millimeters low on the face there. So for us, that's going to generate more spin.
Yeah.
Okay, the higher we strike it, the slightly less spin that will generate, the lower the more. So again, because of the roll and bulge on drivers nowadays, 15 mil low on the face will cause a lower launch angle because your 9-degree driver is actually more like 7 at that point, or whatever it may be. So we will look at things slightly differently. We are looking at trying to get you, obviously, a driver that's going to perform, hopefully, a bit better all round. For me, with how you deliver it, it's one or the other. You know, I don't mind you launching it low if you're spinning it high, but you don't want to launch it high, spin it high, and you also don't want to launch it low and spin it low. We need to match them up a little bit better. Beep. I heard that one, Paul. For me, I think it just looks hard work. You know, when golf becomes a second shot game, golf's easy. It's that first shot. If it's not right and you're not in play, it's a very difficult task, isn't it? So what we'll do, we'll just start off, I'll just get one of our ping tips out one of the drivers. We'll pop it back in, and that then allows us to put all of our shaft matrix into your own head. So we've also got some older generation tips as well, so it still means that you don't have to come in with brand new products. You could come in with like a 425 or maybe even a 410 and still be able to do that if you were selected with the ping. So our connection system still allows us to utilize all the settings on that ping tip. So we can still have it standard, plus, big plus, even on the flat side of the sleeve. Just allows us to still utilize what the manufacturers want to use, but also allow us to put our shaft matrix in there for you as well.
Got such a wide variety. I've never seen so many shafts on.
It's all right, isn't it?
It's super impressive. Kind of nice coming to a fitting knowing there's got to be something. There's got to be someone out there for me.
So all the shafts have a line on or one of the Purion stickers. That just allows us to make sure that it goes in that pured direction. It's a process that we add to all the products when you purchase them from us. You don't have to have it, but we always recommend it because it's the best way you can guarantee that the product that you've tried here is the same as what you get when you get home.
Because you hear a lot of people saying that about fittings. And I see you've got this. Would you just mind explaining to that camera what Puring is and how it works, please?
Yeah, so Puring's basically trying to give you the most efficient line of the shaft itself. So if you had it and you wanted to start of move it left to right here, you see it doesn't move a lot, and actually it's going to transfer the energy really well. If you do it this way, it transfers energy well, but ultimately it's a little bit harder to control. The best one is actually when you have it at a slight angle and you try and do it, it actually wants to wobble. What you're trying to do is just make sure that everything feels the same, comes out as consistent as physically possible, so that almost you're walking onto the golf course with no doubts or very little doubts. You know your product's there, and it should be the same throughout. So yeah, it just means that we're able to give it to you. We do it in 45 inches is our fitting length, and we CPM test everything. So what that is, it's the finite flex of everything in the room. So the reason we do that, so if you take, for example, so this is a Project X 60 grams 6.5. So that's CPM'd at 269. Okay, and then if I gave you a 6.0 hazardous RDX green,
still CPM 6.2.
so they're the same CPM.
What does that mean, CPM?
So that's the cycles per minute. So it's a way in which we measure flex. They're the same CPM, but this is classified as a stiff. That's classified as an extra stiff. So for us, we work off this because it's much easier to then be able to make sure that we get you in the right thing. So it's not always the flex that we look at. So some people are a little surprised when we go maybe down a flex that they're used to playing or up a flex that they're used to playing, but it's more down to, well, what actually is it and what's it actually doing? So having a little bit more torque might help that face square up a wee bit.
I thought that was going to be a massive cut, and it's not too bad.
Pretty good that, isn't it? You know, you look at what we've got, well the spin's the same, okay? Ball speed is down a fraction, but clubhead speed's down, that's just due to the sort of length of shaft, maybe you're not quite used to it, etc. Carry distance is very similar, but dynamic loft wise, we've got you in a little bit better position, and we're a little bit more efficient with the delivery as well, so we're getting a bit more speed out of it in terms of for what you're putting in, what we're getting out. So not too bad to start off with. Just a little bit off the bottom there. Yeah. What I would say is if we look at your sort of strike pattern, it is all low down. You know, you're averaging with your setup 13 mil down, this one 11 mil down. Yeah. It's whether you feel comfortable to go maybe try that orange tee a little bit, just to see whether it helps get that strike pattern up the face. That'll do. You've gone from 208 starting point carry, 230 total, or to 223 carry to 243 total. So you've not massively gained as your total distance, but we've actually got you hitting it further through the air. Got lots to go through. Good. So really good starting point, right? So for me, we've gone from sort of hitting these low left to right shots with quite a lot of spin. We've managed to get that club face squaring up. We've got the launch up a little bit, and we've managed to find you a little bit of carry distance without putting too much spin on the ball as well. So really good starting point. So we leave that one in the good corner. So VA sleigh, so it's a little bit heavier in weight profile. Should control spin a wee bit more for you as well. VA Composite are a sort of boutique style carbon manufacturer. You don't see a lot of them around, but some really good product out there. Because we have our tip in there, we do allow a little bit of swing weight change for that, but obviously you play quite a big grip, so once we get to the sort of final stages, we'll put your grip on, but we can put these extra weights in the handle here, which will change the balance of the club a little bit for you. Yep, so that's brought it down a few swing points. Take those two, won't we?
Yeah.
Again, if we look at sort of your optimal numbers, still spinning a bit high, but we've got your launch up, so now we know what we need to look at there. Ball speed's a little low, but ultimately, it's going to be with where you strike the golf ball. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we've got a few more shafts to try. Again, that's probably a better performer than where we are with the VTRX, so we'll swap that in and out, and this is where we start to just refine what we do. We've got a good sort of stall out there on the profile, and then we can have a look at a few heads. Like CPM, so what sort of flex you're in at the moment. So I'm going to go with the Acra 250 in the FX, just to give you something similar. In terms of CPM, it's only one away, so it should be quite similar in flex profile. A little bit broader through the handle section due to the tapering in the shaft, so we'll see how that feels to you. Slightly lower spinning shaft than the sleigh for when I've been fitting with it. I've seen it come out with a slightly stronger numbers there.
I like that.
Wow.
Balance completely, but
see that there, all of a sudden you're starting to see a better reflection of what your strike's like. So that was low and toe. So it started low, it climbed up, it spun a bit more, but actually it drew. So like a toe strike should draw. It should naturally want to go left. So it shows that we're getting that club face nice and square. 2.7 spin, really good. Longest carry of the day at 2.31. I mean, the ball flight doesn't say that, but 145 ball speed, fastest of the day, 233 carry, 250 total. First time you've got your smash factor anywhere near 150, 149. Wow. So when we look at this as a sort of numbers wise, it just didn't quite catch the spin there for whatever reason. But we're seeing you start in that sort of middle section of your optimal flight, and it's a bit cold, so it may not have just reached your full optimal there. But what an improvement's there. Again, I don't dislike that because of how you deliver the club. You know, you hit a little bit left, so swing path a little bit left. Club face is always a wee bit right. But actually, 3/8 spin from how you delivered it is actually not that bad. It's all right. I really like that one, so we'll keep that one to one side. So this is the Obernassauer, a slightly high launch, mid spin sort of profile. I think what we can say though straight away, Paul, is this softer profile shaft that we've been looking at, especially in that sort of tip section, you've hit it straighter. Right, we've got more launch, we've got that ball higher, and it's started to not want to shift as much left to right. We are seeing a consistent shape coming from them, and that's, you know, it depicts how you deliver the golf club as well. So they're quite consistent in that regard. It's just trying to find something that you feel comfortable with and is still giving us some great numbers. Just a tee peg. That was a lovely shot. Very nice.
Maybe I should try and kill myself with golf more often.
It's beneficial for your golf. Hit the next one before?
I've not, no. I've heard about them. Autoflex. Yeah. Laurence says you've got to like it first. Look at that.
Try and put a nice smooth swing on it and let the club do all the work. Nicely done. Good ball speed again, up in 140, so we're finding significant improvements on where you were with yours. Good spin at 2.7, 220 carry, a little bit shy of where we were with the TPT.
That nice, got really nice.
Nice and smooth, isn't it? Loads really well. I think, you know, it's a shaft that will do a lot of work for you. Get another lovely one. It's funny, is it? So many guys, when they try it, they do that little waggle, and as golfers, we take that as like Bible, what that shaft's going to be like. But actually, you do that, and it does wobble a lot, right? It gives you that sort of waggle test. But actually, we go there. That's 2.7 spin. That's the lowest spin you've had out of any shaft so far. So again, really quick ball speed. It's first swing you've got over 100 miles an hour as well, even though you said it felt quite easy. So usually when that happens, people feel like they're not probably overexerting themselves to get the club to move. Dispersion wise, you're sort of very similar to where you have been, sort of like 35 yards left to right. So again, not too bad. We look at sort of flight wise, we're up at 88 feet, which is really good. 3,100 spin. You know, from where you started, you put on 20 yards of carry, 4 miles an hour ball speed. We've taken 700 revolutions of spin off, and you put on 19 yards of total distance. In looking at something in a very different way, right? You came in here with a couple of drivers, and actually, at the moment, you've got your driver. It's a very different process that we do.
Interesting.
Good to keep in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're going to try the Mitsubishi Vanquish. So this is a lightweight profile. We're going to go in the 4X. So it is an extra stiff, but CPM in it's only 256. So it's very similar to the profiles you've had, bar the Autoflex, which is something very different. So this should offer a fraction more stability than what you've just tried, but similar sort of concept. We're trying to reduce the weight, get that club head moving as fast as possible.
Vanquish. Nearly bought a Vanquish once.
Different type of Vanquish that.
Went for the Bentley instead, and now I've got 2 kids.
Good ball speed again. Obviously you've hit that left, which is something we've not seen much of today.
That felt a bit whippier on the backswing.
Okay. I feel like the head moved more.
Yeah.
Just harder to time?
Yeah, I preferred the previous one, I think.
Cool, it's fine. So we're going to try the Graphite Design XC, so extreme carry, back into that sort of same sort of weight profile that we had through the TPT, the Acra and the Sleigh, just to sort of go down that thing, because ultimately the Autoflex is a very unique product, so there's not a lot out there that's that sort of profile. Lovely shot. 146 ball speed there, 148 smash, 140 carry, 27 spin, 260 total.
I love that shape as well.
Yeah, it's very soft and subtle.
Never hit a straight ball, that kind of thing would be great.
We just want to make it subtle, don't we?
Yeah.
Subtle and consistent is the main aim here. Again, really, really nice. But it's a type of setup where you could just go down that left half and just let it keep coming back.
Yeah.
Quick. Right, just going to go back over the Acra and the Sleigh just so that we can relive them a little bit and get some sort of feedback. Do you know what? You've done that quite a lot with that shaft.
Okay.
Yeah. Luckily I wasn't ready for that one. That's lovely.
That's nice.
Really nice. I think you did the same thing last time, didn't you?
Mm.
Little higher in spin than where I probably want to see it.
Okay.
3507. Just a gnat's too high for the amount of shape on there. I'd probably be more happy with sort of like 3000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Big fan of this. From the first time you hit it smooth, you hit it good. I think when you're more deliberate with it. Right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go put your grip on this one, and then we'll have a little play around with the head. We've got some different ping weights to try, which ultimately, even if we don't change the raw head weight, but if we change sort of like a lighter rear weight, we could put hot melt in a different spot for you to, you know, help with that left to right and so on. So if you want to come, we'll show you how we put grips on. So we started with your Golf Pride 360 that's on all of our fitting kit. So just got our air compressing gun, put that in there, that pops off. I think for you, I like the MCC. I think the +4 potentially takes the bottom hand out a little bit, stops that sort of movement. So going to go with the mid-size standard, just because the sort of tapering of it will help you encourage closing the club face, help with that little fade that you get going on. So just make sure the tape's nice and flat there. On. And that's ready to use. With that grip change, we've got you at D5.5, so a little bit heavier than where you were. We can obviously help change that weight a little bit because we can build it to anything. We're a component manufacturer, so we get everything as head only. So just put a little bit more extra weight up that handle just to give us a counterbalance there. Yep, so got you down to sort of D4 there, so very similar to what you're in previously. So let's see how we get on with that and that new grip change.
Get that in the bag now.
How good's that? Like we look at that and go, that's everything you want. I know that's just spun up a bit, but again, that's just a low strike, right? We look at that and that's what's meant to happen from that position on the golf club. But if you hit that on the golf course, all your mates are going, nice shot, Paul.
They're getting sucked into the vapor trail behind it, I think is what you meant to say. But yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not that quick, but it's up there. Let's look at, that is key for me, that one, right? That is not your greatest swing by a long stretch, but it's pretty straight, it's moved a little bit, we've still got speed, and you've not actually sacrificed that much total distance. I mean, that's just, the best thing about this for me is you've walked in with a driver and you're walking out with what would feel like a new driver. That's completely different. That is a very different beast to what you had fitted previously. but we've only just started.
Yeah.
Because all we've done is we've improved this.
Yeah.
There's loads of other things we can do. We can replace the heel weight in the back there for you. We could put some hot melt in there. Sleeve wise, is there much we really want to do? You're launching it at 12 for that sort of spin profile you've got. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we've really optimized what you currently have.
Yeah.
What we'll do now, we'll have a look at all the new heads. So we'll try the new Taylormade, Callaway, Ping, Titleist, Cobra, Strixon, Mizuno. Got loads of options to have a go at. And we're going to go very easy from your LS Tech. We're going to go into the Max 10K from Ping. Obviously the new product, a lot more carbon on here than what you've got in your LS Tech, and it's one of the few products out there on the marketplace that are this 10,000 MOI. What that means is it's got a lot more stability. With the off-center shots, it's not going to want to twist as much. You should see a little bit straighter ball flight. What I like about this personally, it doesn't produce a lot of spin, so that should help you as well. Just going to start in that 9-degree setting on the sleeve. Exact same shaft, exact same grip. So again, it's the fairest test for head-to-head.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is just like looking down at the same club,
The difference in that spin number there.
2-2, yeah. And what was the LST? 3 something?
We're about 3, yeah. Lovely shot. Numbers wise, very, very similar. The LST's got 3 miles an hour more ball speed. Launching a little bit flatter as well, which is obviously a good thing. Dispersion wise, they're quite similar. If anything, I think that length of face here and the ability that it doesn't have to put a little bit of draw help in there for you is why we're just seeing it leak off to the right. So it's a big point that I always say to guys, just come with an open mind, because everyone would walk into a shop and go, that's going to make me hit it straighter. And it could do, it really could do. It's such a good driver, but because it doesn't have that ability to help you with a little bit of your shot shape, it's just not going to suit you quite as much. So we've got the AI Smoke Max here. What I'm going to do, to help with the spin, I'm going to put extra weight in the front. It normally comes with a 2. To start with, I'll plonk in the 7.
What length we got on this one?
9. So 9's quite a good one for you. I think once we find a head that we like what it's doing, that's not massively far away from sort of every spec that we go through, we'll then just really fine tune that last drive when we get to it. Lovely looking, isn't it?
Yeah, that matte bit at the front just for the line looks really nice.
But again, pretty straight. Didn't lose a lot of ball speed there.
I'm never going to be the most consistent golfer, so it's great to get some of these real golf shots in rather than coming in and
I think they're the crucial part, right? No one's a robot. No one's walking in as Iron Byron. So what we want to see is the misses. And how detrimental is this setup when you do those missed swings and those missed strikes? What I always say is, actually, I don't dislike that, because a poor shot should only cost you distance. It shouldn't cost you dispersion as well. A good fitted product should keep it nice and tight, and a missed strike just costs you yards. You shouldn't really be seeing yourself get into huge amounts of trouble. That's a mega bomb. That's a lovely shot, that one. Ooh, nearly out the back. Had a little run up. A little bit lower, but bullet straight still. That's a mega bomb. Lovely drive, that. Really, really nice. QI10 Max, so another one of the 10k drivers. Just going to get you in the standard loft setting.
Okay.
I think where these benefit you over that 430 Max 10k is that little bit of heel weight.
Yeah.
Okay, just going to help you, allows you to just want to square the club face up a little bit. If anything, you're always going to hit left to right.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I've seen you hit golf shots, it's left to right.
Yeah.
So we just want to try and get you as neutral a setup as possible, so that we can get you, you know, feeling like you can confidently just go and swing it and let the club do the work.
First bit, Taylormade QI10 Max. There's a lot of hype about this. The last Taylormade driver I had was the SLDR, where unless you were Martin Keiman, I think it was impossible to hit it. It was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It was a shocker. I mean, I liked the idea of it all, but my goodness.
The concept was there,
Yeah.
just tough to execute if you're an average golfer.
Yeah.
Lovely shot. What you expected?
I like the way that that kind of Vulcan bomber takeoff trajectory with that one. It didn't sort of go high and down.
Yeah, it started lower, but I mean, that Vulcan trajectory is just where it has too much spin,
Right,
and
okay.
that's it climbing. So you catch that higher on the face with that sort of spin still. That's where you get that ballooning shot. Any wind into on that, and you could probably run out and catch it, sort of sensation.
Fall through spin.
Just a bit too high.
Yeah. TSR2, this is the more forgiving, I believe.
Yeah, so you got TSL1 the most forgiving, then 2, 3, 4. 4 is really low spin, very forward weighted. 3 has the adjustable weight for heel and toe. This one very neutral weighted, but I've got the sleeve set up a little bit different for you. Sort of A2, fastest ball speed, or one of the fastest ball speeds yet, 146. But from a slightly slower speed than before, so got that spin at a nice level there. Obviously it's still cut for you.
Yeah. Very sleek, isn't it?
Very clean, really clean. Again, a shot that's in play.
Yeah.
Quick off the face, 3,028 spin. So again, not jumped up in spin, even though you hit it left to right.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It was easier to hit than the Taylormade, but I still think the Callaway.
Or your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not got the adjustable draw.
Can't put any weights in there, no. We can obviously hot melt it. So if we need to, we can replace the 9-yard weight in the back with something else. Change the weight profile. I feel this will be a bit of a dark horse. The Dark Speed Max from Cobra. Good for you in the fact that we can get you a little bit of heel weight. 12 gram right in the heel here, so it's probably one of the most draw bias settings that we can put you in. Really high MOI as well, so super forgiving. I actually really think it's quite clean at address.
Slightly deeper head profile.
Yep.
Just made up by some orange trousers. Nice.
Pretty straight that one. It's not your longest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, strike wise it was 11 mil out the bottom, a little bit out the heel as well, but it's only 10 yards offline. There we go.
That's really nice on the line.
Lovely shot.
Yeah. 3/4 spin, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I said, it's got to be relevant for the shot shape you're hitting.
Yeah.
If you came in here drawing it all the time, obviously we're going to see a lower spin profile than someone who comes in and fades it all the time. So you've got to try and get the right spin level for the player's shot profile. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 3 shots there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spinning a bit much, but you're always going to spin it. Strike-wise, it's not quite in the middle.
Yeah.
But, you know, dispersion-wise, they're within 15 yards of the target every time. Well, on the 3 shots so far, 2 right at it and 1 a little bit right. It's just so easy, isn't it? Again, no loss of ball speed, something very easy and forgiving, 250, pretty straight.
I mean, that was a poor strike, look at that.
That's almost hitting the target line again.
Wow.
Like, that's finishing on line. Nicely done again. It's amazing what just spinning that shaft around a little bit has done. All of a sudden it's opened up a couple of lefts in there.
I tried to do that a bit too hard, didn't I?
Yeah, but we're starting to see a lot of speed there now.
Right.
Like, ball speed is shot right up. It's very consistently going upwards now.
Okay.
Spin's not massively jumping up on you either. Don't want any of those last 4 or 5. 149 ball.
That was smoother than a fox in a smoking jacket. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, Laurence.
I like that. It's a good one, that one. Like, you're hitting all the right numbers.
Yeah.
Aesthetically,
Love it.
you prefer it, so there's no point going back to the other one, is there?
No.
Like, let's be honest. From my personal point of view, if you don't love a driver, don't play it.
Yeah.
You know, you look at those final sort of numbers. Taking out all the troublesome ones with your own.
Yep.
Okay, so fairest test we possibly can. 211. The main issue was we just weren't launching it enough. A little bit of that was strike, but we got you in a bigger tee, and that helped a little bit. We went through everything there, sort of 3.5 spin average, launching at 8.7. We could have changed the loft around a little bit, but ultimately, the more loft we had, the more it's going to spin, and you're just band-aiding a problem ultimately.
Okay.
So. We've got you down a little bit in weight when we go into the acro shaft. We've actually got you down in loft. Because we've got a more forgiving profile driver, we can actually strengthen that loft profile up for you. Launching at 12.6, spinning at 2.7. We've gone up, you know.
First club speed past 100 as well.
Yeah, consistently past 100 as well. It's only fluctuating 0.4, so again, the swing weight is good for you. It shows that you feel balanced and comfortable with it. You're not having to feel like you're having to exert it too hard or really slow yourself down. Spin's only fluctuating 400 revolutions. Ball speed's only fluctuating 2 miles an hour. For me, launch, again, 2 degrees, brilliant. Front to back carries 7.5, 8 yards. Again, really nice and narrow. Key thing for me, I always like to look at land angle, 36.7. It shows that you've got a good combination of carry and roll. It's a bit like the end of the rainbow. If you get that number in sort of like the right slot, everything else has plotted its way through quite nicely for you. The only reason your ball speed is not perfect is because we're a golfer. No one's perfect. We can't always find the middle of the golf club. So yeah, that's the AI smoke. Max, 9 degree in the -1 draw setting in the heel. You've gone 7 grams in the front instead of the 2 that come in it. We're in the Acura FX range. It's the 250 M3, so it's their stiff flex, 251 CPM, and in the mid-size multi-compound as well. So it has that tapering to it that you didn't have with your driver.
Love it.
So yeah.
We're going to win a thanks, Laurence. That was great, guys. This place is amazing. He's better than amazing. This is great. I've worked with Laurence 4 or 5 times. There's some previous episodes on the Golf Show you see about that. This has just been great. Would I have thought I'd be going home with a Callaway driver? Probably not. The numbers on that don't lie. Really hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you did give it a like, if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends and give us a subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the Golf Show.
Bye bye.
Mate, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
No.
Oh, I love it. I hope you enjoyed the episode of the Golf Show. To watch another, click here. To subscribe, click here.